Before playing the Warhammer Invasion living card game, both players follow these quick steps in order. Shuffle the decks. As with a deck of playing cards, each player shuffles the cards in his deck until they are randomized. A player may cut or shuffle his opponent's deck to ensure that the randomization is sufficient. Set up capital boards. Each player should select the capital board that best suits his deck and place it on the playing area in front of himself. Set up token pool. Place the resource, burn and damage tokens in a pile in the center of the table. Both players take tokens from this pool throughout the game. Determine first player. The first player should be determined randomly, either by a coin flip or some other method agreed upon by both players. Draw setup hand. Each player now draws 7 cards from the top of his deck. This is his starting hand for the game. In this example, player 1 is playing the dwarves, and player 2 is playing the orcs. In his starting hand, player 1 has drawn the following cards: Troll Slayers, Contested Village, Zufbar Engineers, Organ Gun, Defender of the Hold, Grudge Thrower Assault, and Keystone Forge. At the start of his kingdom phase, player 1 takes 3 resources and adds them to his resource pool. He takes 3 resources because he has 3 power in his kingdom. During his quest phase, player 1 would draw 1 card, as he has 1 power in his quest zone. However, since he is the first player and this is the very first turn of the game, player 1 must skip his quest phase and his battlefield phase. This is known as the first player penalty, and it offsets the disadvantage of going second. During his capital phase, player 1 can spend his resources to play cards from his hand. He spends 1 resource to play the Defender of the Hold into his battlefield. Because the Defender of the Hold has the text Battlefield Only, this is the only zone in which he can play the card. Player 1 then spends another resource to play the Contested Village from his hand. This play demands a key decision. Player 1 can play it into any of his 3 zones. If he plays it into his kingdom, he will count an additional resource during his next kingdom phase. If he plays it into his quest zone, he will draw an additional card during his next quest phase. Since the Contested Village is a support card and it cannot attack, there is no good reason to play the card into his battlefield. Deciding he would like to collect more resources, player 1 decides to place the Contested Village into his kingdom. Player 1 then plays the Organ Gun, which has a cost of 0, with 2 loyalty icons, which he matches and offsets onto his Defenders of the Hold. The Organ Gun gives the Defenders of the Hold 2 additional power icons whenever the Defenders of the Hold is defending. Finally, player 1 has the option of developing one of his zones by placing a card into that zone face down from his hand. Player 1 places the Zufbar Engineers face down into his quest zone as a development. This adds an additional hit point to his quest zone, giving it a total of 9 hit points. During his battlefield phase, player 1 would now have the option of attacking one of his opponent's 3 zones. However, since he is the first player and it is the very first turn of the game, player 1 must skip his battlefield phase. It is now player 2's turn. During his kingdom phase, player 2 counts 3 power in his kingdom and takes 3 resources. During his quest phase, player 2 counts 1 power in his quest zone and draws 1 card. During his capital phase, player 2 spends 2 resources and plays the Squig Herders into his battlefield. Then he spends 1 resource and attaches a chopper to his Squig Herders, which adds 2 additional power icons to the unit. During his battlefield phase, player 2 decides to attack his opponent's capital. Combat is broken up into 5 steps. 1. Declare target of attack. Player 2 decides he's going to attack player 1's quest zone. 2. Declare attackers. Only units in the battlefield can be declared as attackers. Player 2 declares his Squig Herders as attackers for this attack. 3. Declare defenders. only units in the attack zone can be declared as defenders. Since player 1 has no units in his quest zone, he cannot declare any defenders against this attack. 4. Assign damage. Players count up the total number of power their participating units possess and assign this much damage to their opponent. The squig herders have a total of 3 power. They are gaining 2 power from the chopper. Damage must first be assigned to defending units, and secondly to the attack section of the opponent's capital. Since there are no defenders, 3 damage are assigned to the capital. 3 damage tokens are placed near the quest zone on player 1's capital. 5. Apply damage. All combat damage is applied simultaneously. The 3 assigned damage tokens are moved onto player 1's capital in his quest zone. This section currently has 9 hit points, 8 starting hit points plus 1 for the development, so it is damaged but not yet burning.